Scoopy Talks. Whenever you got Grammy Award winners, you bring them up. No different here as we have Ray Daniels joining us today. Is it safe to call you Grammy Award winner yet, or are we just going with...
You can just say, we won a Grammy. My guy that I manage, my partner, I'm Grammy Award winning. I'm telling you, that's how I see it. Like, I'm Grammy Award winning. Like, you know, like, it's not like I met him and we got a Grammy a year later. Like, I've been with this guy since he worked at Party City. Like, that was our award, man. Like, you know, we've been rocking 18 years now. So yeah, say whatever you want to say, brother. That's the one I could claim.
So you've been with Tehran.
Yes, Tehran won Songwriter of the Year yesterday. That was the 6th most important award at the Grammys.
Tell me more about his journey and why that's the 6th most important.
Well, the best part about it is that why it's the 6th most important. First is that it's a new category. It just started last year. They've been doing Producer of the Year for a very long time, and songwriters have kind of always been overlooked. So, you know, they've been, you know, campaigning to get the Songwriter of the Year category in, and we got there. And, you know, when we knew it, it was like, when it came, it was like that was the award everybody wanted, because it's basically from your peers saying you're the best songwriter, right? So we went for it last year, and this year we went for it, and we were shocked that we got nominated. It was like, nominated for Songwriter of the Year, really? Because it was like 150, 160 songwriters submitted, maybe more. But then the win was like, holy shit, like, wow. So can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can. It's your
okay, cool. It was like crazy that we won. So, you know, and how long the journey, you know, me and this guy started. I was an intern. I guess he was an intern too, but just an intern as a writer. And my assignment the day that I met him was to drive him to the studio. And I remember telling him the day I met him, I was like, bro, I don't like the name of the group that you're in. The name of the group he was in was called To Equip. And I was like, that name sucks. And he was like, really? Like, first day I met him. And I was like, I don't think the music you guys are doing is that good either. And I mean, my thought process was, I'm praying for opportunity. We're all trying to come up. So I can't afford to be nice, right? It's like, we ain't got no time. We ain't got money to eat. I'm not gonna be in here telling you you're great. So, you know, we decided to work together. And, you know, we've been on a journey, man. You know, it's one of them things where it was like, the goal was never to win Grammys. The goal was to take care of our families. That was the only goal. You know, like, a lot of people look at this like real artsy business, and man, I'm trying to be respected by my peers. And I think it was like, that's cool, but how can we eat? How can we make sure that our kids eat? And that was the goal. So, you know, we've been together. I've been managing Tehran Thomas for 18 years now, and we've been together almost pretty much every day since then. And here we are, like, winning Grammys for the Songwriter of the Year. The first black writer of all time, first black writer to ever win is going to be in the record books.
I like it. Your Radar Management LLC works with a lot of different people, but just in doing my research on you, I was fascinated because you lend your voice to, you know, social commentary and more. Do you like that you've kind of shifted from being the guy next to the guy that's talking to the media, but then now you're giving your expertise on things? Was that a difficult adjustment?
Well, the funny thing was that it wasn't a difficult adjustment at all, because it's kind of what I've done my whole career. That's what I did for a living. I took people who, you know, had a dream, and I did what I needed to do, and I made a whole lot of people rich. I made a lot of millionaires in my life. So all I really did when I didn't even know I was in media space, bro. Like, all I did was put a camera on me, and then all of a sudden I'm like considered new media, and I'm like, I didn't know I was new media. I was just doing what I do at any A&R meeting. That's all I was really doing, you know. So it's weird to me because I get a lot of fanfare now from it. Like, bro, like, when I'm walking around the Grammys, like, everywhere I go is like somebody wants to take a picture. Somebody's like, they know me. Somebody's that, and it's so weird to me because I'm like, bro, I'm just doing it's like you doing what you're doing and just doing it on camera now. Now it's like,
right,
y'all like that? So, like, I was at a dinner last night. We were celebrating, and literally in the celebration, you know, it's a lot of big people at the table, like real tight room, like maybe 20 of us. And I started arguments, right? And I'm like, but that's all I did though. Like, I was just like, yo, who's more talented, Dr. Dre or Jay-Z? And everybody's like, what? So now we argue, and now 5 minutes later, everybody's screaming, fuck you, Ray. Why you got us arguing like this? And I'm like, bro, this is, so they're like, man, we feel like we're on your show. And I'm like, bro, I did this all day. That's all I did. Like it's like in school, I was a class clown. I just started becoming a more intelligent version of it. That's all it was. It was just like, I'm just having fun conversations in front of a camera now.
You and your Kendrick Perkins meet Stephen A. meet Shannon Sharp shit.
Yes, I feel like more shit. I feel like it's very Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp because I think the reason why the show is working, I think the reason why we have so much fanfare for everything we're doing is because I'm someone who's like, I'm rare, like I'm in the field still. So it's like I'm commentating from the field, but I'm also playing in the field, which I think is weird for people because most of the time when someone goes from it's like you don't go from being a player on the court to now being a commentator, and unless you retired. So for me, people are like, man, how are you doing both at the same time? So I'm in like the top 2% of the podcast world, and I'm in the top 2% of the music industry world. I didn't know that. To me, it's all the same. It's just, I'm just talking to you.
All right, so since you started Sugar Honey Iced Tea at that party, who is better as a producer, Jay or Dr. Dre? Or were you talking?
No, I didn't say who was better as a producer. I said who was more talented.
Okay.
Just talent. And in my opinion, I think Jay is more talented. But everybody was saying Dre. And they was like, Dre, because so how I looked at it was, talent doesn't mean that you reach your full potential. Talent just means you have an ability. And I think that Dre's talent is spotting talent. And I think Jay's talent is being talent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Jay spotted. He doesn't have a spot talent skill. Like, I mean, you know, he has a whole lot of people around him who's really smart, and he's just really great at being talented. And I thought Dre was just like, I don't know, just two different roles that I saw them playing, but just not who's smarter, not who has a better catalog, but in your mind, as a talented individual, who do you think has more talent at what they do? And to me, I thought it was Jay, but Tricky Stewart was at the table and he was like, Ray, don't get me started. He was like, he kept saying, don't fucking fuck with me. We supposed to be celebrating. And then 5 minutes later, we're all screaming at the top of our lungs. And everybody's like, man, like, so bro, to me, it's all fun because it's just what I naturally do.
So I want you to take your commentator hat off and I want you to put your executive hat on.
Okay.
When you talk about,
yeah, I like that, by the way. That's smart. You're good at your job. Because you just told me put one hat on, so now I'm thinking a whole different way. I love that. Let's go.
This is Black-ish meeting Black AF at the same time.
Yes.
That Kenya Barris, Anthony Anderson wrote. So yes. You talked about how you felt that that Dr. Dre spots talent, but Jay is talent. But I kind of feel like Jay is a combo guard. Like, in this sense, when you look at basketball, it's like a Derrick Rose or like a John Morant, because I feel like because Jay had management like Dame, and because Jay was the talent, and because Jay learned from watching the Lyor Cohens and knowing who was who, him being talent, he was able to get into that role as president of Def Jam. And I know you said that he had a lot of people around him, but if I'm not mistaken, and again, you have your boardroom hat on, he did bring in the Rihannas, he did bring in the Jeezys, he did bring in the J Electronica, because he did sign J. Cole. I'm wrong? Tell me more.
He did not sign Jeezy. L.A. Reid signed Jeezy.
Okay.
L.A. Reid and him both signed Rihanna.
Okay.
J. Cole, I'm unsure of. I know J. Cole was an early signing in the Rock Nation world.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure, but I don't think that he has to know. And I also think that the Def Jam gig was what made him turn it around. I think we always knew he was smart.
Sure.
But the Def Jam gig was how he learned how to really run shit. You know, how he learned how to really do his job at a very, very high level. Like, you know, and people don't understand, when Jay got the Def Jam gig, like Tata didn't even have a job at Def Jam. Like, if you go look at those early Def Jam albums, the A&R was it was all the albums was A&R by the Carter administration, which was interesting because who was that? But that was Jay's way of like keeping his people in the mix. So I think that what makes Jay probably smarter, or what makes people see Jay, because Jay is just very naturally ambitious. And it feels like Dre is just really like a music guy who loves what he loves. Like, he loves music And I don't even think Dre loves shit that he don't get. Like Dre is like, I don't get that. It's not for me. Like,
Hey,
I think that Dre is just a brand that we all love and respect and hold to this high regard of greatness musically. But I feel like Jay is more like the businessman that's like, I'm gonna put my hand in all different courts. It's two different approaches, but I think one more feels like a player and one feels more like a coach.
or a player coach. Like to me, Jay is like transition from Magic the point guard to Magic being the point guard and the head coach at the same time. Versus,
yes, I can see that.
Versus Dre is Phil Jackson or Pat Riley.
I can see that. I can see that. That's a great point.
Because here's the thing, as I'm talking to you, I've been on the road, and for some reason I was commuting. The Game's documentary was playing. Somebody posted something on Twitter the other day. They were like, "Would you pick Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style or would you pick the Game's documentary?" And young people pick. Some of them pick Game. Some people pick Snoop, but I really feel like the documentary was so expertly produced. But I feel like because it's Game and because 50 and Dre were both in that mix, and because there was so much controversy while it was going on, I don't think a lot of people sat and really digested it. I think that album, and Dre produced most of it, if I'm not mistaken, was so severely underrated. But a lot of these younger people look at Beats by Dre and don't even look at Dre as the artist and don't look at Dre as the producer. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, you're right. But I think it's also in brand with who he is, the style.
Mm-hmm.
Like what he's known for. He's known for quality music. What do we listen to music at? In speakers. Mm-hmm. He made speakers. It's just he tied it all together. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought was dope.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What is something that people should be paying attention to in the industry that will really be the it thing?
Oh man, that's a really, really great question. I would say what they should pay attention to be the it thing would be real talent striving. If you pay attention to, like, well, I'm out here in LA right now, and while I'm out here and all this stuff is going on, nothing rap is happening. Like all the parties, it's like Afro beats. It's like everybody's off rap music now. It's so weird. Like, and LA is like wrapped up, and it's like I'm really interested in what's gonna happen for the BET Awards, because I'm like, man, like BET is known for rap. Rap is black music, so I'm just curious on what's gonna happen. But I think that we should start paying attention to the Game. I think that the bubble is busted. Bubble has bursted, and now there was no more room for the untalented people. There's no more room for them. Like, it's too much. It's all going down. And I think that what happened was that the gig of like making money in music is kind of up now. I think that now everybody, it's kind of like since 2020, everybody is like, you know, like when the new year starts, that first 2-3 weeks of the year, everybody's in the gym. Like, I think that the pandemic caused everybody to sit down, and everybody was like, well, what can I do? Music. And it was like music and podcast. Oh my God, I can do both. And I think that now it's settling, and it's like the bubble is busting and we don't know who's going to be what. And now we're like, we don't care if you're viral. You're not getting 2 million because you're viral. You're going to get 2 million because you're viral and you're a great artist. I think that the music business is going to go there. So that's what I'm excited about. So
in summation, what you're saying to me is there's no more Ren and 10 rapping Dalmatians.
Yeah, no more of that. It's they're not because the industry is tired of it, but because fans are tired of it. Like, see how you're talking like Ren and 10, like everybody's just over the quality of music. And I think that, and it's crazy because as I was writing, I was going to make a tweet. I'm going to say, you know, the rap album of the year was by a 48-year-old rapper. You know, best new artist was by a 34-year-old singer. Best songwriter of the year was by a 41-year-old writer. Like, the Game is, these young people are going to have to start paying their dues and learning this process if they really want to be in it.
from a sports perspective, that kind of reminds me of when they say when the quarterback turns 30, 31, 32, they start to see the field a lot differently. Like you don't
Yes.
have to be 20 in your early 20s or mid 20s running across the field. You look to your left, you look to your right, and you're looking for self-preservation. You depend on your linemen. The home cooked meal is better than the fast food. No disrespect to brands, but you want the slow process, and you gotta pay respects to the elders and those who came before you, while also creating something that stands the test of time.
Absolutely. And to me, that's where it is. Like, that's the beautiful part.
I like it. I like it. Brother, you're a wealth of knowledge. I appreciate you taking time to school us, or as my late grandmother would say, learn us a little something. And
I love it.
I feel enlightened and enriched with your level of expertise. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, bro. Good for having me. Thanks, Scoop.
My man.